Hey guys, I hope that I am live right now. We will be starting in 5 minutes. I will be starting right now, just I'm waiting for people to join in. I hope that I'm live. Hey guys, if you can hear my voice properly, you are able to see me properly, then please just write something in the comment section that I can understand that I'm live right now. Just write a hi or a hey or something like that. Yeah, so that's great to see everyone has come. Like I expected a lot more number of people to be attending this session. Uh, yeah, so can someone tell me how many people are currently watching this session live? Shrikar, I will be answering all the questions. You don't have to worry about it. Today's session is just oriented so that I can help you guys understand what is exactly Shape AI, what we are going to teach in the next 15 days, and everything that is important for you guys. Okay, so yeah, I hope that more number of people would be live, but it's okay because a lot of you registered, and we thought that more number of people would be attending it live, but no problem in that. So let's start. So first of all, welcome to this session of the 15 days bootcamp. I understand there was a misprint in our banner and we just wrote 10 days. So I want to clarify upon that it is 15 days and it is not including this session. Like today's session is just an introductory session just to know you guys a lot, and we will be starting from tomorrow the actual session on C++, like hands-on practice in C++ and everything. So first of all, I understand that most of you are from different backgrounds. Some of you are from the first year, some of you are from the fourth year, some of you are passed out even. But yeah, so I want you to understand that why C++ is important. There's a very big demarcation in the market, very big. Like people don't understand one of the things that is they are always behind. Like I want to learn latest AI, I want to build AI projects, and they end up building something that like almost 2 million people have already built an MNIST classifier, and that is something that is useless. Okay, nobody is going to hire you just by your project. Okay, so if you want so for example, getting into a fang. Okay, so there are different demarcations of companies that are currently there, so on campus and off campus as well. The first one is the bulk recruiters. So Infosys and many other companies, TCS, come into this category. They recruit people in bulk. Like they will take 50, 60, or even in some colleges 100 to 200 people at once. So that type of companies will offer you a package of about 3 to 4 lakhs at the max. And now this 3 to 4 lakhs is your CTC. Okay, what you get in hand is actually 40 to 50% of your CTC. So for an entire year, you will be getting approximately 1,50,000. That is approximately 20,000, 10,000 to 20,000 rupees per month. Okay, so you need to understand. So if someone is targeting towards that type of companies, then like you don't need to know a lot of coding. Okay, you just need to understand the basics of the things and you are good to go. So this 15-day session would be more than sufficient for you to understand the basic concepts of our C++, data structures. Okay, some of the data structures that are very important to get started with, and also a little bit of toe dipping into competitive programming as well. So again, the next type of company that comes is a mediocre level company that will offer you about like 7 to 9 to 10 lakhs per annum. That's a good company to get. In fact, most of the companies that come to your college after the bulk hiring would be these type of companies. Now, these type of companies usually have some type of startups or sometimes of MNCs as well. So for the third tier colleges, mostly the companies that are coming to your college would be offering about this much amount of money as the package. Okay, so that is something that is okay. It's a good company, it will be coming to your college, but it is not offering you enough. So that type of companies you need to know C++, okay, or Java, any one of the languages. You need to know some type of competitive coding, okay. You need to be extremely good at competitive coding. You need to know data structures well. You need to know DBMS, like all these type of stuff. So this is something that you need to understand, that DSA and C++ or Java, or even like competitive programming, is something that will be your first three rounds of the interview. Okay, so the first round of the interview would be like, you will be given 3 to 4 questions and you will have to solve it in 3 hours. So, in see, Shiva, you have asked how to get off-campus placement. So I'm trying to understand that itself. Okay, try to listen to me, guys, and try to understand what are the different things that you need to know to get into a good company. Okay, whether it be a dream company like Fang. Okay, so the Fang includes Facebook, Amazon, Google. Okay, it all Netflix as well as Microsoft. So personally, for me, Microsoft is also a Fang company at present. Okay, so you don't have to write present. There is no attendance by writing present. Okay, I need to emphasize on that. There are only two ways to mark your that you are present. First, you have to subscribe to this channel, and then you have to like the video so that we can get your email address so that we can mark you present. Okay, so there are just one way that you can mark yourselves present. You have to like, subscribe. First, you have to subscribe, and then you have to like the video. Only then we will be able to put you up as present. So, continuing with, see, this session, please don't waste time. Of course, you are investing for the next 15 days, 1.5 hour to 1 hour every single day. Don't waste your time. Don't waste someone else's time. You need to understand this very well. Okay, don't write anything in the chat section except your own queries. Okay, don't write anything in the chat section except your queries, so that I can like teach you some of the most important thing. Okay, so let's start. First of all, again, like today, we will be for those who have joined us late, we will be discussing about what are the important things that you need to know how to get placed into a good company. Okay, I hope I'm teaching slow itself. Yes, we will be teaching you everything. Please, like everyone, please stop writing something in the live chat section so that I can teach. Okay. Okay, so let's start. So first of all, again, why C++? Why data structures? Why like competitive programming, and how to get placed? So the most important thing is how to get placed into a good company. Okay, so first of all, let's start by answering that question right now. I have myself been placed in a good company, so I know how to get into a good, renowned company, even if you are from a second tier or a third tier college itself. So I will be sharing that as well, like what to do and how to do. Please stop writing present, sir, and try to focus upon what I am teaching right now. Okay, so please try to focus upon what I am teaching right now and try to understand the concepts well, instead of just spending your time, irrelevant time, on writing presents on live chat. That is not going to help you. So let's get started. So first, many of you want to get placed in a good company, at least an internship or some type of other placement. We have got our students placed in good reputed companies. You can go on to our website and check that as well. In Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, DE Shaw, Nutanix, and many other companies as well, even in Amazon. So you need to understand that The interview process. How does companies select you both on campus as well as off campus placements? How does that happen? First, you submit your resume. You need to have a good GPA. Okay, there should be a good GPA about 7.5 and above. Okay, so yes, we will be teaching STL as well. So first, that is one of the barriers that you need to cross. Okay, so second thing is exactly. Please write your questions itself in the live chat and don't write anything else. Please don't write anything else in the chat section. Just write your questions only. Try to focus upon what I am teaching right now. Okay, so how do people get into good companies? First, let's answer that question. So for example, I'm a good company. I'm from Microsoft, for example. So how will I be taking students in? The first thing that I will be doing is I will be going out of my way. I will be going out of my way and I will be posting a job post maybe on LinkedIn or maybe on some other platform, or even on campus as well. I can come to your college and pick students up. So how to get into that? So the first round would be coding. Obviously, you will be given 3 to 4 questions that you will be have to solve in 1 to 3 hours. Okay, you will, it's just a sort of a test. Okay, now sometimes the companies can have 2 to 3 different tests. Okay, not a single one. On campus placements usually involves 2 tests. In one, they will be asking you, they will be giving you a question and you will have to write this write the code down on a piece of pen and paper. Okay, so that is some type of interviews that I have already given. The second type of interviews that you will be seeing is there will be a proper computer assigned to you. You have to go there. There will be 3 questions, a time limit of 1 hour. You will have to submit those questions, and then if you are able to solve the questions and you are in the top 30 or 40 people, they will be taking you in for the next interview round. So here you need to understand that you need to know competitive programming. CP or competitive programming is something that is very important to pass these 2 rounds. If you are weak in competitive programming, if you have never done competitive programming, then it is next to impossible in off-campus placements. It is next to impossible to even go to the next round. Okay, go to the pass that round itself. On-campus placements for startups and for smaller companies that take people in bulk, yes, you can pass those type of rounds and get the job as well, but it will be like 10,000 rupees per month. Even an intern gets more than that in big MNCs, so that is of no use. So again, coming, so this is where competitive programming shines. Okay, you want to get into Google, you have to have your competitive programming skills to the next level. Okay, you need to go on different platforms, practice as many questions, then and only then will you will be able to go into the next round itself. You will be sitting in front of an interviewer and answering questions. If you don't have your competitive programming done, then just forget about getting into any company. Okay, like I'm not even talking about like mediocre companies like Amazon or something like that offering 10 to 11 lakhs. You will not be able to get in any company without competitive programming. So stop thinking about getting into Google. Not everyone gets into Google. Only one, not more than just 0.01% of the people from across the globe get into Google. They have that type of skills in programming. So you need to classify yourself from them. Where do you stand right now? In this 15-day course, we will be giving you a heads up. We will be showing you how to do different competitive programming questions, how to use STL to do that. Of course, we'll be using STL a lot to do competitive programming. This entire 15 days is much more oriented towards learning how to do competitive programming rather than going into like how to implement code in C. Okay, C, in none of the interviews will you be ever be asked to implement a question in C. They will be asking you to either implement the question in C++ or in Java or in some other language of your choice. to keep your like how much time you are investing. So you have 1 hour to complete 3 questions. If you're writing everything from scratch, then you will never be able to complete that particular interview itself. So that's where you use STL. Like we will be like, don't worry that I don't know programming, I'm not good at it, or even if you are a very good level of programmer, then what I'm going to get from this particular session. Don't worry about anything. We expect that you don't know anything about even remotely related to programming. We expect you to come into this 15 days boot camp knowing nothing about it. Okay, so don't worry, we will be taking you from scratch, from C++. What is C++? What are the different components of a C++ code? We will be understanding that in depth. We'll be dealing with different data structures. We will be making you understand that particular data structure in depth as much as possible. And then we'll be going to the bigger, like hands-on computer programming. We'll be solving different questions from Lead Code. Okay, one of the best platforms available to learn computer programming. Okay, so we will be dealing with everything. You don't have to worry about it. Now first you have passed both the rounds. Okay, the computer programming rounds for an interview, on site and off site. You have like passed both of them. Now comes the most dreaded portion of an interview, that is the live interview, 101 interviews. So you will have 2 to 3 different interviewees that will be like sitting in front of you, and they will be taking your interview. So they will be asking you questions, okay, like theoretical questions. They will be asking you data structure related questions. So one of the most, like almost 55% of the entire interview, and sometimes even more than 90% of the time of the interview, they will be asking you data structures and algorithms and nothing else. Okay, so you need to have your data structures and algorithms very, very sharp. Now, I'm talking about good companies. Okay, I'm talking about like 11 to 9 lakh and plus. Okay, there are companies like Atlassian, like Geo, that offer like about 40 to even 60 lakhs per annum. So that is something that you need to understand. What are your priorities? You want to go in some startup, do like 10,000, 20,000 rupees work, then that's fine. We don't care. You have to live your own life according to what you think. So you have to understand this, that to get into a good company, you will have to pass the coding rounds, that is CP, competitive programming. Then you have to go to the interview. Okay, in the interview, they will be asking you questions related to data structures and algorithms, OS, DBMS, computer networking. So these 4 topics, if you are able to do them to a very good level, okay, so you are set for the interview. You don't have to even do a single project. We'll be coming to projects, we'll be coming to why projects are important, and which types of projects are important, and how much time you should give on them. So we'll be coming to that, but you are able to understand that the first 2 rounds didn't require you showing off your web development skills, didn't require you showing off your AI skills. They only required competitive programming. Okay, the interview round, so there are more 2 to 3 interview rounds. So one of them would be non-technical HR interview. Okay, they will be asking you questions like, why do you want to join in our college, sorry, in our particular like company? Why do you want to like what was the most difficult stuff that has happened to you, and how did you manage that? All these questions. So that is non-technical, so that is totally irrelevant. Coming back to the technical interviews, so there will be 1 or 2 technical interviews. If there are 2 interviews, 2 technical interviews, then one of the interview would be 100% data structures and algorithms and nothing else. Data structures and algorithms and nothing else, an entire interview. The second interview would be like 30 to 40% will be data structures and algorithms, data structures and algorithm. They will be giving you a particular question, and they will be telling you to write the question live in front of them, or type the question on an IDE that they provide in front of them. You have to discuss the question with them, come to an answer, come to a conclusion, and then they will be moving on to the next question. The second, like they will be investing 20 to 30% of their next half in just like OS, like operating system, DBMS, database management systems, computer networking, and all these type of concepts that you will be learning in your college itself. And the last part, okay, they expect you to do the data structures and algorithms in either C++ or Java. These recruiters are not young, okay, they are 40, 50 years old. Now at that point of time there was only C++ and Java, so most of them are not familiar in Python. And sometimes what happens is when you write a code in Python and show it to them, they think that it is a pseudo code. Now they come up with a proper solution of their own. In many of the companies this is happening, and so you need to safeguard yourselves against that. Now C++ and Java is a best alternative because you don't have to worry about what that person is has already learned, whether he knows Python or whether he knows some other language like JavaScript. C++ and Java is something that they must know because at that point of time it was a gold mine. Still C++, most of your code from like Netflix recommendation system, it is 100% implemented in C++. Your self-driving cars like Tesla, it is 100% implemented in C++. Medical like MRI scans and all those kind of stuff, they use machine learning. Even your self-driving cars use machine learning, but it is 100% implemented in C++, not in Python. Python is just used when you are just like you don't want to have like more security, you don't want to have like a response time in like 15 milliseconds or 25 milliseconds. Like response time is not like an issue to you. Yeah, okay, like the code runs in like 500 or 600 milliseconds, that will do for me. But in the case of making recommendations to you or making a self-driving car, if I'm writing the entire stuff in Python, then the time that it figures out that a person is standing in front of the car, it would have already like hit that particular person. So there is no point of using Python in self-driving cars, in drones, all these applications when you have to interact with the hardware on a much more deeper level, you will be using C++. Now coming to big data is something that is robust. Now in that particular case, now people are coming slowly to Python, but this is not getting picked up by most of the companies. In Microsoft, in Google, in Geo, in Amazon itself, big data is being done 100% in Java and in no other languages. So you need to understand that Python is just for development. It is not something that you will be putting it into the production. Okay, so that is something that you need to understand. Why C++ and Java? I hope you have understood that by now. Now the last 15% of the second interview would be your project. So that is not something that the interviewer is focused upon. When you join a particular company, a good MNC, they will be teaching you most of the aspects. They want to see a particular project that sums up what you know. It's good to know AI, it's good to know data science, it's good to know web development, but how do you integrate it? Is the project your own, or have you made the project or copied the project from some YouTuber or some like person on GitHub or some course? Now people are doing Coursera courses and all those kind of stuff, and they are similar. There is no demarcation between the projects. Everyone is doing the same project. The interviewer knows that you have copied it from someone else, so he will be focusing much more on concepts. He will not be asking you, okay, so write the code for this particular section on your own, whatever project you have made. He will be asking you, okay, you have used this particular for example, you have used decision trees in your classification. Why have you not used something else? Why not a linear or a multivariate regression? Why decision trees? What is the concept behind decision trees? He will not be looking at your project for more than 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, that's all. In a 30 minutes or 45 minutes interview, he will be looking 2 minutes at your project. So you need to understand what your priorities are. Do you want to get into a good company or not? Do you want to get placed? Tell your people that I got placed in a good company like Microsoft or like Amazon. See, I'm not telling you guys to get demotivated that I cannot get into Google shit, man. Like that's bad for me. Everyone can get into any company, but you need to realize that you need to work hard to get into a good company. It's not going to give, like, there is no company in this world that can guarantee you that you will get into Google. Okay, you have to work hard, man. If you are working hard, you will get the fruits. Okay, if you're not working hard, then you will spend your rest of the miserable life living as miserably as you are. So that is something that you need to understand what is your priority. Now coming to, okay, yeah, sorry for that particular mishap that happened. Yeah, so now it's stable. So sorry for that. Let's continue. So what we will be learning in the next 15 days, one of the most important questions is that. And the second most important question is, are certificates necessary? So will they be looking at my resume, seeing at my certificates, what I've got, and is that important? So I will be answering both the questions. In the next 15 days, as I've already explained, we'll be starting off by learning the fundamental concept behind C++. Now, most of you don't know why namespace is used. What is STD? What is the different types of languages that is important for us? Okay, so anything and everything that you need to understand, what is IO stream. So don't worry if you're not able to understand these terms as well, but we will be giving you a deeper insight in everything that is. Secondly, we will be like, of course, we will be learning how to program in C++ first. Then we'll be going out and learning different data structures like arrays, linked lists, and some other data structures as well. I hope you have been given the syllabus. We will be understanding their concepts. We'll be implementing it in C++. We will then be learning the STL for that particular data structure. Okay, and then we will be implementing, we'll be doing at least 2 to 3 different hands-on question for each particular topic, important questions that are usually asked in interviews. So we will be like live coding it. You will be coding it with me on an IDE so that we are all on the same page. So this is what we will be doing in the next 15 days. One of the most important questions that I saw in the live chat was, will this particular thing, that is certificates, help me or not? I understand the confusion for that. In the starting I also had the particular confusion that will this particular thing help me, or like the certificates are just like a waste of time. So you need to understand one of the most important things. For example, in this session, at the end of the session, you will be provided a certificate by Microsoft Student Ambassador Program. Okay, that's an affiliate to Microsoft, and they usually handle these type of webinars. So we partnered up with them to provide you the certificates. Secondly, we will be moving on to, for example, what are the certificates important? Certificates just show what you know. So for example, if I am seeing a certificate for C++ and data structures, or for example AI, then I will be questioning you about, okay, so I have seen a certificate that you have on AI, so please explain to me what is the difference between AI and data science. If you're not able to answer that question, the interviewer will just say that it's a fake certificate and none of your certificates really matter to them. Okay, then if you're not able to answer the question, then from that particular point of time, any certificate that you have in your resume is fake for them, and they will never take you in. So if you're putting any certificate in, you need to understand that put that in if and only if you understand that particular topic like in a lot of depth. Okay, so yeah. So now if you are having any questions, please ask and I will be answering your questions. Okay, so some people say that GPA doesn't matter. Prince Lohia, this is free, don't worry about it. It's totally free. So GPA doesn't matter. So you need to understand that GPA matters a lot. Okay, so of course you don't have to be the one who's getting 9.8 or 9.5 or something like that, but most of the companies will be expecting your GPA to be in the range of 8 and above. To be safe, you need to have your GPA, that is your grade point in your college, around 8.5, 8 to 8.5, to be on the safer side, so that most of the companies will be taking you in, like at least going through your resume. So if they find that you are having a GPA less than 8, then they will just keep your resume to one side and then move on with the rest of the resumes. So you will be, without even looking at your resume, you will be separated from the crowd because they have their own cutoffs. So that is very important. Yes, it is free, Prince. I've already explained. Yeah, is 7.5 good? It's not great, but it's okay. You will be allowed to sit in most of the interview process, but still there may be some companies that may reject you. Okay, just one by one, don't start punching me with like all the questions. Will oops concepts be discussed? We will try to discuss the oops concepts as well. As I've already explained, we are much more oriented towards competitive programming. That is something that is necessary to get yourself placed in a good company. Without that, there is no chance that you will get into a good company. So we are much more focused upon the interview process itself. Just like for example, you can think of us as a coaching center, just like Resonance and just like other exist. We are also similar kind of institution. We are ourselves from good companies that come at home in the night and then teach you guys up. So that is something that we focus upon, that we ourselves have cracked good companies so that we can impart the knowledge to you guys. So that is something that we do. Does free certificate we get mentioned that the training that we get a training in C++ and DSA? Yes, Pushkar, you get the certificate at the end of the 15 days program. What we will be doing is we'll be seeing the people who have subscribed to us. We'll be then the sorting them according to their liked. We are able to see their emails, and according to that, we'll be giving out the certificates to everyone. Is it possible to learn every DSA topic in 15 days itself? Of course not. In 15 days, no one can expect you to learn the entire DSA in just 15 days. It's highly like you're just saying to yourself that, okay, I will complete the entire JE syllabus in 15 days and get into IIT Bombay. So that's something that you have to understand, that it is similar to JE mains right now, or even JE advanced. So you need to understand that it takes time. We'll be showing you the path, we will be guiding you from the start. Even if you don't know anything, we'll be picking you up and pressing you to an intermediate level, so that at that point of time you have everything figured out, that okay, I know this amount of work, I know everything. Okay, I just have to do this right now, I have to keep on practicing after this. Okay, so everything we will be like teaching you. C++ is very easy as compared to Java. I personally think that I've personally done I know C++, I know Java, I know JavaScript, I know Python, I know Ruby. So I know a lot of languages. I personally feel that in between C++ and Java, I personally feel C++ is much more sophisticated. So moving on to the next question. Okay, so 6 months needed for placement third year. See, Shubham said, good question. You need to understand that yes, you need at least 6 months to prepare for placements. Okay, at least 6 months is needed. So we can guide you through that particular process as well, and we will be letting you know some of the secrets that we ourselves followed. I'm myself from a second tier company college. I'm not from a first tier college. If you're asking that, I'm from a second tier college. So that is something that you guys need to know. So I know exactly what you're feeling. Other than OS, DBMS, OOPS, SQL, and coding, what can be expected in an interview? See, other than that, you can expect a little bit of computer networking and some questions related to your project itself, and data structures and algorithms as well. Okay, data structures and algorithms is very important. Okay, recommend some books for offline version. See, personally, I feel that you should never read books. Okay, so I myself get a lot of distracted while reading books and understanding the concepts. I believe in hands-on practicing itself. Okay, competitive programming. Yes, we'll be like teaching you competitive programming as well. Okay, software need, you don't have to install any software or anything. Don't do anything. Everything would be done online itself. You don't have to do anything. Okay, C++. I always recommend C++. The GPA is to cope up with that because the studies. Sir, how can we ensure that if any GPA is there to cope up with that because the study? I'm not able to understand your question. Okay, so moving on, I'm a second year student. Okay, I just lost everything. Uh, See, for those who are having some type of experience in some of the companies, for example, one of you are from TCS and some other companies as well, to go towards the giants, again, you need to have a strong hold on your data structures and algorithms and competitive programming, as well as your system design. At that particular point of time, your system design also needs to be very good. If you're already having some experience, they will be like expecting you to know system designs as well. Okay, so AWS and programming. So don't ask unnecessary type of questions. I believe in that. So okay, basic important programming language that everyone should know. According to me, C++ is something that everyone should know because I've already explained that to even get into an interview and show people your projects, you need to know competitive programming. You need to know data structures and algorithms. Without that, even if you are one of the top people on YouTube or somewhere else and making good projects in data science, nobody is going to give you any job. Okay, you need to, if you want a job, you need to know data structures. If you want a job, you need to know C++. Okay, so yeah, how to get good internship? As I've already explained, C++, data structures and algorithms, competitive programming, data structures, OS, DBMS, all these type of stuff, you need to know at least to get an internship, a good internship at a good MNC. For a startup, they will be expecting you to know much more about the development side, but for a good MNC, you need to know all these type of stuff. Okay. How to know the tier of the college? To know the tier of your college, if you are from an NIT or a BIT or something like that, you are from tier 2 college. If you are from BITS Pilani or IIT Bombay or like IITs or something like that, you are from a tier 1 college. If you are from a private college like VIT, MIT, SRM, like I treat at least VIT in tier 2 and others in tier 3, but some people beg to differ from me, but still. Yeah. 12 percentage matters in placements or not. 12th percentage does not matter anywhere in your life. So that's something that is completely irrelevant. Okay. No, the 15 days certificate is not like none of the certificates. I'm like stressing it out again. If you're having 15,000 certificates, okay, you're not going to get any job. Again, I'm stressing that particular point. You have to show your skills, you have to show your knowledge. Certificates don't get you placed anywhere. Nobody is going to say, okay, you have 100 certificates, come, I will give you $1 million package. It's never going to happen. You have to show them your skills, you have to show them your knowledge. Okay, so moving on to, okay, is it mandatory to attend the class live? I have other program at this particular time. It's not mandatory to like attend the classes live. As I've already explained, you just have to like the video so that we can mark your attendance. Okay, does C++ is good for DSA? I mean, what I practice of DSA in C. So see, you are having good practice of DSA in C, but you will never be using C for competitive programming. Okay, you will get fed up in just like 15 minutes of doing competitive programming in C. You have to write a very long code, like whatever you can write in 15 lines of code in C++, you will be writing 100 lines of code in C. So usually people like to do it in C++ or Java. Some people also like to do in Python, but I do not like that. So moving forward, I'm a third year student. Okay, I just lost the question. moving on to the next question. Hello, sir. I have made a project in robotics. Will you give me an edge in internship and in job in good companies a good package? Tushar, I've already explained that projects are just 1% of your entire interview process. Just 1%. The rest 99% determines if you will be able to showcase your project to the interviewers. Okay, that project will determine, okay, you are getting like a boost of 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs in your job. That's all. But if you are not doing C++, no CP, not DSA, not prepared for the interview, then of course even having that project will never give you a good placement. Platform for competitive programming. We will be dealing with that, Asia. Don't worry, from tomorrow. Okay, sir, if I want to focus on web development and companies related to it, then C++ and Java place same value in interviews. See, Said has asked a question. If I want to focus on web development and companies related to it, then C++ and Java place same value in interviews. Even I'm just saying that even if you don't know anything, you just know HTML, CSS, that's all and nothing else. And then also you are going to like Microsoft applying for a full stack position on an on campus or an off campus, and you have passed all the rounds with flying colors for data structures and algorithms and competitive programming, then also you can get hired. Okay, even if you have do not have a single project in your resume, you can still get hired. So that is what the power of DSA and CP is. Of course, having projects is good in your resume, but if you don't know C++, you don't know data structures and algorithms, you are very bad at competitive programming, then you will not even get to the interview. And if you're not sitting in an interview, then who are you going to show your project to? Nobody, only to yourself. So please try to understand that. So if I want to focus on, so that is done. Okay, so is it okay with Python for placement? I personally feel that you shouldn't do that because Python involves a lot of libraries. And when you are doing competitive programming in Python's sitting at your home, you're learning new stuff, you will usually be using a lot of libraries, and sometimes in interviews they can explicitly tell you not to use those libraries. At that particular point of time you will be stuck in a loop because you don't know how to do that. So Python makes your life very easy, but during placement there is a high probability that it can make your life a living hell. So that is something that I truly believe in. Okay, so because I have given a lot of interview, guys, and I know a lot of different languages. So from personal experience, I'm telling you this. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Does C++ is good for DSA? I mean, okay, that has been done. What about EC? How to achieve the job with basics? So again, like I've already explained that even for a non-coding background student, okay, even if you do not know anything about code, you are from a civil or chemical branch, you are learning DSA, you are learning competitive programming, you can get into a coding job. There is no like most of the companies right now do not have that particular requirement that you have to be from CSE. You just need to know stuff. That is something that is important to them. Your knowledge is important to them, not from where have you studied or what do you like, what courses you have done or something like that. Detailed syllabus. The detailed syllabus Soham has been put up on the WhatsApp group. You can see from there. Again, like this session is just about answering your questions. Okay, we will be starting the session from tomorrow itself. We'll be starting our sessions like learning C++ and everything from tomorrow. Today's session is not counted in the 15 days, guys. Okay, so hey, so how can we ensure that any study and placement gap after college, is there anything to cope up with that because of these studies? I'm still not able to understand your question. Which year CGPA is considered among the first year? Because see, your CGPA would be considered in the third year. Okay, when you are starting to apply for internships. So after second year, you need to ensure that after second year you are having your GPA around 7.5 and less. Okay. No, it's never too late to start for preparing for these placements. Okay, even if you have completed your studies, you are in your drop year, something like that, it is never too late. You have to just work hard. If someone is starting from the first year, he has to work the same knowledge in 2 years. If you're starting in second year, you have to work in like 1 year. If you're starting in third year, you have to do it in 6 months. Okay, if you're starting in fourth year, of course, you will also take like almost 6 to 4 months. You have to complete everything. So that is something that the first year you have to spend like 2 hours per day. Second year has to spend 3 hours per day. The third year has to spend 4 to 5 hours per day, and the fourth year has to spend like the entire day. So that is something that you need to understand. How to get internship in third year? To get internship in the third year, companies must be coming to your college. That is called as an on-site placement. Apply for those companies. If you are like, if companies do not come to your college, then start expanding your network on LinkedIn. Start approaching people. Start applying for off-site internships and all those kind of stuff from LinkedIn. A great platform to you guys. I personally recommend it. Okay. I don't have a good GPA. Should I start competitive coding? See, GPA is something that will give you a head start. Okay, getting into IIT Bombay will get you a head start, but it will not ensure that you're getting placed in Google. Going into IIT Bombay, people still remain jobless. Okay, it does not ensures that you're getting a job. Okay, you have to work hard for it. Okay, no problem. You didn't got into an IIT. I also didn't got into an IIT. I didn't got even into an NIT. I got into a BIT, like Birla Institute of Technology, and I studied from there. So I didn't got into a first tier company college, so that doesn't matter. But I worked hard. I worked on my coding skills a lot to get into a good company. So you have to understand that, okay, you don't have a good GPA. That's a downside for you, but it's not the end of the world. You can still learn everything. You can be the best, so that if there is an option between two people, then they are picking you because you know a lot more than what that particular person knows. Okay, is JavaScript family in demand for app development, or should I learn Python? So again, I will be telling you, if you are very good in data structures and algorithms, if you are very good in competitive programming, then go to the development side. Doing development will never get you a job. Doing data structures and algorithms, doing C++, doing competitive programming will get you a job. After you have done that, after you have learned data structures, then you can think upon, okay, I have done this particular stuff. Now I want to learn AI, or I want to go into web development, or I want to go into app development, and then work on some small projects what are of your interest. Okay, don't copy someone else. Moving on, I know Java and some language, but I feel C++ is must for every developer programmer. Good, exactly. C++ again from your Tesla, okay, the self-driving cars, from a Netflix recommendation, medical resonance, like all those kind of stuff. Anything from your TV to your this particular Logitech keyboard has C++ in it. Not any other language, C++. Whenever you want to interact with the hardware, you have to implement everything in C++. For example, TensorFlow, a framework that is used by everyone across the world for machine learning, okay, developed by Google itself, has been made entirely in C++. Okay, it's an API that connects it to Python, but it has been implemented in C++. So that is something that you need to understand. So the timings from tomorrow will be 8 o'clock. We'll be starting every day at 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock to 9:30 or 9. Okay, and we will be starting with proper coding itself from tomorrow. See, to get pro at DSA and CP, I say approximately 4 months. Okay, you need to do CP for continuously every single day for the next 4 months to get good at it. Okay, of course, you are giving a lot of time to CP every day, then you will be great at it, but still at least 4 months. Okay, so I've not get placed after my BTech and I more than 2 years. How can I clean this in and make my placement safe? Utsav, first of all, I will recommend you to start building your profile. Okay, start learning data structures and algorithm. Start learning C++, competitive programming. Start to go onto different platforms like CodeChef, LeetCode. Start doing stuff right now. Do not procrastinate. Okay. Secondly, go on LinkedIn, make your own profile, put a very good picture, guys. It is not Facebook, it's a particular thing for professionals. Put a good picture, smile in that particular picture, make it welcomed, feel welcomed. Grow your connections, connect with different people, connect with different recruiters. Okay, after you're sure that okay, I've learned everything, I have some one or two good projects under my belt as well, start approaching recruiters, start sending your resume to them, start telling them if you have some like referrals or something, then please like refer me to someone else. And then slowly and steadily, within 6 to 8 months, you will see that you are getting offers for interviews. Okay, for interviews, not directly job. Nobody is going to see your resume without even thinking like okay, come and work for me. Okay, they will give you an opportunity to interview. Just bang that interview with all your heart and you will get placed in a very good company. Okay, so does having back in any subject but clear during time matters? Having back disqualifies you from most of the companies directly. There's no point in that. Okay, if you are having back, you are directly disqualified from most of the companies. Some of the companies might still take you in, but there's a very less probability. So moving on, how to start CP and where. See that I've already said that we'll be discussing that during this. Can I crack code jam after this boot camp? Kush Bhatia, you need to understand that I've already said 4 months of continuous dedication is required to crack any company or any good like some type of quiz or something like that. This 15 days is just to give you a path, just to give you a head start. Okay, so that you do not procrastinate after that, that I don't know where to study it from, I don't know what to do, I have no idea, nobody is there to mentor me, I'm just lost everywhere. This 15 days will show you a path upon which you have to travel. Rest is up to you. Okay, so moving forward, I have Adobe She Codes internship interview 2 to 3 weeks. What type of questions should I expect? So Adobe as something that most of their questions are usually dynamic programming based. Dynamic programming and trees is a very important part of these interviews, especially for Adobe. Okay, secondly, they focus much more on image processing. So if you are having, if you are able to make some type of good project in just 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just go on to the net, search from some good project, try to understand the theory behind that particular project, then it will be good for you. So that is something that you need to understand. Can we practice data structures and algorithms in Python? See, Galvin, if you are able to promise yourself that you will not be using inbuilt functions while using Python, so for example, swapping two numbers or like something like that, you're just using the inbuilt Python functions, just googling how to swap two numbers and just like taking that particular piece of code inside your code, then it's of no use. In your interview, you will not be allowed to Google stuff. Okay, you need to know how to find your greatest divisor, okay, or like least common multiple on your own. You will not be allowed to Google things out. So if you are able to promise yourself that you won't be using like Google to find the basic things, then of course you can continue with Python. But I personally feel that you should use C++ or Java for learning computer programming. Okay. Shays, Lucifer, we will be dealing with that during this session. Okay, where to start computer programming and all those things. You don't have to worry about it. Dev Jaiswal, please reach out to any person, okay, on LinkedIn or on sorry, on LinkedIn or on what is that app's name? Instagram or somewhere else. Reach out to us and we will be adding you to a WhatsApp group. Okay. We will be using ID1. Okay, so that is also something that is online, so that you don't have to worry about it. We'll be using IDE1. So for Microsoft, most of the important stuff that they ask is like Parag Mittal, one of the other instructors, you will be meeting him soon, is from Microsoft. He's a software development engineer there. So you will be meeting him soon. And he is like what I know, like I've also applied for that. And they usually ask pointers, they usually ask linked lists, they usually ask dynamic programming a lot more. So prepare for that. Okay. Can we have hands-on session through mobile? No, Galvin, you cannot have hands-on session through mobile. Okay. I have no knowledge about. See, don't worry if you have no knowledge about even programming in general. We will be teaching you everything in these 15 days. So don't worry about it. Yes, certificate is being offered. Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador Program will be providing certificate to you guys. Okay. Skills, communication skills matter. Of course, you need to have fluent English. Okay, you need to be able to communicate with them. That is very important during the interviews. Okay, so that is also something like, okay, my video is not being shown. Yeah, so my video is not being shown, I guess. Okay, so my video is not being shown. I will just hold that particular camera like this. I have to do something about it. So just give me a second, guys. My there's a problem with my video or something. Okay, I hope my video is now okay. Okay, so we will be using lead code to practice competitive programming. Okay, 7 GPA is okay, guys, but like try to improve it. I don't have a PC to join the bootcamp in mobile. See, you can watch the videos on mobile, but you will need to practice coding somewhere else. The IDE is available online, but you need to have a keyboard to type. So that is something. Having back in first year only one subject, does it act? See, most of the companies, if you're having a bag, then they directly disqualify you. So that is something that I cannot do anything about that. So yeah. So that's why we focus upon this 15 days. We suggest that you write the code, whatever we are teaching from tomorrow, go to your house, write it down, okay? Prajwal, I've already said having a bag directly disqualifies you. We will be having classes from 8 o'clock tomorrow, okay? 8.45 is very good. You don't have to practice or learn maths for a CP. So for those who think that maths is very important for computer programming, that's not the case. Even if you don't know maths, you can easily do it. Okay. Data science is the next big thing. Most of the people are starting to learn data science, but they follow very bad practices. I'm myself a data analyst. I know exactly what is important and what is not to get started in data science. And I see people learning stuff, and I know that that is not going to help them at all. But that is something like we will be discussing it somewhat later. Okay. There is nothing except coding in CS. Like it is computer science, you need to know coding. So that is, even if for some of the hardware companies, they also now require that you need to have some decent amount of knowledge in coding. So yeah, you shouldn't have taken up CS, I guess. Yeah. If you have back in any year, you are directly disqualified for almost 90% of the companies. They will not even look at your resume. And don't ask me that question again. See, Sumati, maths is important for buying sabji at a sabji mandi as well. But that type of maths, even an auntie knows who has never went to college or even school for that matter. So, maths is in fact important everywhere. But it is not something that I need to know, like in how to, for example, like how to make integration or differentiation to learn CP. You just need to know basic maths. Okay, that like if I'm taking this pointer and adding 5 to it, then I will be going 6 places in front of it. So that's the maths that you need to know. So please try to understand that. Government college usually comes in, if you are in an NIT, then second tier. If you are in IIT, then in first tier. And any other government college usually comes in third tier. ISC Bangalore comes in first tier, but see, it is very important for you to learn system designs if you are already in a particular company. But yeah, see, don't practice upon hacker rank. Okay, that is not going to help you guys out. Hacker rank is something for I myself feel for, like, if you don't want to do anything, you just want to just like, okay, I just want to learn like a little bit of code and that's all. I don't want to get placed in a good company, then go and use hacker rank. It's very slow. It's the questions are of very bad level, like level zero, I guess. Like if there's a level negative, then I can put that in it. Lead code is something that covers, is made for interview process itself. So I suggest lead code. Theory and practical are both are important. Theory for your interviews and like proper interviews, and like practicals for just like cracking the interview itself. See, IoT is something that is nowadays becoming very prevalent. But for IoT as well, most of the IoT is done in C++, if you don't know. Like 90% of the IoT is done in C++, the coding part at least. It is good. There are very few places where you can properly learn IoT, and yeah, I don't suggest going into IoT right now. Of course, you are if you are in like some, like for example crossbreed like triple E or ECE or something like that, then IoT is a good option for you. Said, that is something that will matter only if you are able to pass the first 2 rounds of the interview where you have to code in CP. So, first, please learn that. Don't start making plans ahead. That what if I am able to get into a data analyst interview process? First, focus upon what is in hand, how to get to that particular interview. That is CP, that is C. plus plus. Can we use code forces to practice? Of course, but I feel that if you're just starting out with competitive programming, going to code forces directly will just demotivate you. Okay, you will never be getting an interest to do competitive programming, and you will just leave it out there. I have known one of my good friends was a master in code forces, and he didn't got placed. So you need to understand that code forces is not a good place for preparing for interviews. Of course, it's a good place if you are a hobby. If you have a hobby for doing computer programming, then go to code forces. Otherwise, I strongly suggest against that. Shivani Nigam, I've already said that from tomorrow we are going to start the session of C++ and programming. Today we are just discussing stuff out. Code Chef is a good platform, but I still suggest, if you're having, like, if you are still in your first year, then start with Code Chef. Okay, good thing. Okay, you're starting very early. If you are in your second or third year, then focus upon lead code. Okay, before your interview, you need to complete each and every single question from lead code to get prepared for that interview. Keep that in mind. If you're getting some extra free time, then go to code forces, then go to code chef. Otherwise, do lead code first. You need to you are not, like, you're not a hobbyist that you're having a hobby of doing computer programming. You want to crack an interview. That's what you want to do. So then, like, just go and do lead code. Of course, CP first. See, you need to understand what are your priorities. Again, this, like, I'm trying to explain to you guys. Do you want to get placed in a good company? That's one of a good question. Okay. And the other question is, do you want to start a startup? Do you want to just, like, learn something because you have some interest in it? Okay. Without, if you want to get placed in a company, if you want to get placed in a good company, then you need to know C++, you need to know data structures and algorithms, you need to know computer programming at the least. Okay, this is something that you need to know. After that, if you're having time, then go on to robotics, IoT, data science, web development, or something else. Okay, then that will be something that can help you to get a better placement. But if you don't have the basic knowledge of data structures or CP, then it's of no use. Learning robotics, you're not going to get you're not going to get placed anywhere. Okay, yes, you can start your own startup, but that's totally different. How many of the people are just sitting at their home for the past 2 years eating off their parents' money? Okay, if you want to you want to get a good job of your own, a high paying job, then you need to focus upon C++ and data structures. Again, I'm explaining this, GFG is very bad. Okay, they don't have good test cases and all the other things. So don't go on Geek for Geeks for computer programming. Okay, don't. I highly discourage you from that. Yes, Raj, you need to have good hold. Like, I'm again stressing this out, that you need to have good hold in data structures and algorithms, computer programming, and all those kind of stuff. If you don't have that, then even if you're having a fantastic $1 million project in your resume, nobody is going to get, like, it is not going to get you placed. That's all. See, no age is too late to start. You can still start right now, but you have to do triple the hard work of what you had to do early on. If you're in your fourth year, don't worry. Just follow what we are teaching, and you will get placed in a good company. If you are practicing every single day, if you're putting your hard work in, if you're not doing that, then that's like, then no one can help you. Okay, so let's leave today's session right over here. Okay, we will be starting from tomorrow, and we will be starting with basics of C++ and programming. Tomorrow will be hands-on programming, the first day of our 15 days program. Okay, so that is something that is very important, guys. Everyone, please try to be live so that when I'm teaching, I can interact with you guys a lot. Secondly, I will be having a separate doubt session one day where I will be answering your doubts. Okay. Again, welcome to our community of Shape AI. It's good to have every one of you right here. We will be guiding you through everything. Please try to, like, don't ask questions repeatedly. Okay, I'm just seeing the same question again and again. Which platform to use? Do I need to learn IoT or like something else? See, I've answered these questions repeatedly. I don't want you to waste your time and neither the other students' time. Try to understand that, try to be live, try to ask important questions which really matter. Once I've said that backlogs, once you have a backlog, you just missed an opportunity. That is something that I'm very sad for you. Again, you can get into a company, but it would be very, 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 very hard. So that's just a different case. Okay. Yeah, 4 months at least to in competitive programming to get yourself better. Mm. So let's try to start with tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Like Akshit Garg, I also feel the same thing that there is some problem with the students. I don't know why they are asking the same question almost like 10 times. Try to understand stuff. Okay, try to listen to what I'm trying to explain. Okay, if you're not even listening, then there's a problem, guys. You are here to learn for the next 15 days. Try focusing upon what I'm trying to say. Try to understand stuff. Next 15 days, I can promise you one thing. You will tell me after the end of the 15 days that I have learned something. I've learned a lot from this session. I feel confident enough that I can continue learning on my own even after these 15 days. So don't worry, we are here to guide you all. We are from good colleges. We understand what you're going through. So please try to understand this. It will be a great session, guys. We'll meet tomorrow at a rate 9. We'll be providing you the links. This is our YouTube channel. Please do subscribe. Like I'm again saying that it is great to have you all here. Subscription, of course, helps us keep motivating to have these type of sessions. So bye everyone and have a good day ahead.